I feel like Scarlet and Violet illustration rares are so underappreciated, and that's why I'm taking it upon myself to create this series where I show you guys the top 5 illustration rares from every single set. And in this video we're going to be looking at these 5 sets. Now there's some absolute bangers and the value of some of these may surprise you. So to prove my point, let's just get this list started with Scarlet and Violet base. At number 5 we have the Slowpoke. Look at this card, it is drawn beautifully, and not only that, I mean look at that face. How can you say anything bad about that face? It is adorable. There is nothing going on inside of that head of his. It's just a beautiful card and you can relate to the Pokemon. How can you not like this card? It also goes for less than £10. It's a no-brainer. It's a beautiful card and it's cheap. Pick it up. At number 4 we have this Bombardier. Now I didn't even know this card existed until doing research for this video, which just goes to show how easy it is for you to sleep on or just miss cards that you didn't even know existed. Look how beautiful this card is. You see the watercolor fashion that it's drawn in. It looks absolutely amazing with the contrast in the clouds from the white to the gray, and you see the sun ray coming through the cloud. Looks so great. And look at the bird itself looking majestic. No one has ever said that about a Bombardier ever. And look how it contrasts with the flowers on the ground, so colorful. It's an amazing work of art. Shout out to the artist Shibozo. It's an amazing card, and not to mention it's only worth about £4. When I saw the price for it, it blew my mind. How is this card so cheap? This is definitely a pickup. Go get yourself an amazing art for that cheap. At number 3 we have King Gambit. Now I may be a little bit biased because I absolutely adore King Gambit's design, but look at this card. You have to just admire the beauty of the symmetry and the colors and everything that's going on in this picture. I don't think it's done by accident that the King Gambit looks like the leader of an entire battalion. The bishops look like generals, and then you have the pawniards, which are obviously the front line, the pawns of the battlefield taking up formation. Very reminiscent of the Romans with their turtle formation with their shields. Absolutely love this card, and for some reason, some unknown reason, this card is only £4.50. If this isn't in your collection, pick it up. For £4.50 you cannot go wrong. At number 2 we have Dondozo, and I don't think there's a card out there that better epitomizes the definition of majestic. Look at this card. I love how you can tell that Dondozo is being triumphant and breaking free, like he's trying to be Free Willy, bursting out of the water. I love it. I love the sky in the background and how it's subtly reflected onto the water. You see the Tatsugiri staring at him in amazement. I just adore this card, and of course it's drawn by Akira Igawa, who's drawn some amazing other artworks like the Charizard from Obsidian Flames, the 4 gold cards from Crown Zenith. Just an amazing card, and it's only around £5. It's insane. This card should be and could be a special illustration rare with just how much detail is in it. I absolutely love this card, and at that price point, if you don't have one already, pick one up. The number 1 spot has to go to this Drowsy, drawn by my favourite artist, Tomokazu Kamiya. I love his art style and his take on surrealism in the Pokemon world, especially when it comes to Pokemon like Drowsy. I adore every aspect of this card, the colours, the buildings, the people's faces. Look at the dread and despair on their faces. It's conveyed so perfectly, and of course they're enshrouded in darkness, and the only thing lit up in this illustration is the Drowsy himself under the light of a single lamppost while he's grinning, admiring his prey. Everything about this card is utter perfection. This card wouldn't go amiss in an art gallery featuring works from Salvador Dali and MC Escher. That's how amazing I think it is. And I think the price reflects it a little bit as well, because it's at around £15 on average, with some sales being around 25. I think it's time to pick up one now before everybody starts waking up from hypnosis and realizing that this card is way undervalued right now. Go grab one. Those were my picks for Scarlet and Violet base, but now we're going to move on to some Paldea Revolved, and there's some really nice cards in here, so let's check them out. To start off, Paldea Revolved, at the number 5 spot we have the Paldean Tauros. I love this card because it's so perfect for the Pokemon. In the background you can see the Serengeti sun setting on a herd of Tauros. It's so perfect. I love the colors, the orange, the trees. It's beautiful. The environment is absolutely perfect. I love the silhouetted Tauros in the background. It's perfect. You can see how fierce everything looks. It's amazing. It's amazing. It's underrated. The value of this card is somewhere around £6 to £10. So let's just say on average £8, and I still think at that price it's definitely worth grabbing. It's a beautiful card. Everyone needs this in their collection. Go pick one up. At the number 4 spot, we have this Arctobax, and I love this card. Again, drawn by my favorite artist, Tomokazu Kamiya. It's also a 3-parter, and I love all of them because they all seem to have a theme where they're all sort of rolling in the air, mid-air. I don't know if that's a gimmick. One of you guys is going to have to let me know in the comments down below. But I love this card. Again, it's got the funky colors, the surrealistic viewpoint. I don't really know what's going on in this, but I love the colors. I love the details in the background. It's such a beautiful card. I love the abstract. Clearly the Pokemon are enjoying a berry that isn't in one of the games, if you know what I'm talking about. But I love this card. All 3 of them look amazing, but this one is my favorite of the 3. And for only around £6, get it. It's a beautiful card. Again, Kamiya come through with genuine works of art. It's a no-brainer. Just grab one. They're cheap as well. Pick it up. And at the number 3 spot, we have this beautifully drawn path with some amazing lighting, some beautiful trees. Look how perfectly that path has been. Oh, wait a second. Is that a Sudowoodo?
Hello there.
And that's exactly why this card is amazing. It's beautiful. It's a Sudowoodo hiding as a tree. And if you guys don't know, its name literally means fake wood. It's perfect. It's absolutely perfect. I'm sure there's something in the game about him being a fake tree as well. It's a beautiful card. It's perfect. It's funny. It's on the nose. Even the move, hit and hide. It's amazing. It's perfect. And the value of this card is around £11, let's say. It seems to be a little bit all over the place, but I don't know what's going on with these recent sales. But regardless, if you find yourself one at a good price, go pick it up. It's a beautiful card. Get it. At number 2, we have the coveted Magikarp. I love this card. Everybody loves this card. It's a beauty. Drawn by Shinji Kanda. He's my second favorite artist. He's drawn cards like the Giratina Altar from Lost Origin, which is one of my favorite cards of all time. I love this Magikarp because it's drawn in a very similar fashion. There's so much detail. I love the waterfall. It's beautiful. The Magikarp. I love the Gyarados at the top as well. It's a stunning, stunning card. Absolutely beautiful. I love the colors and how they just interact with each other. It's so perfect. It's such a perfectly drawn card. However, as you guys may know, the value of this card has skyrocketed, and I can't justify telling you to pick it up at that price. However, even though the English is worth about £125, which is ridiculous for an illustration rare, if you don't mind having it in Japanese, it's so much cheaper. In this screenshot I have shown you, you can pick up a PSA 10 for around £60. I managed to pick one up recently for £50. Just get that instead. Pick up the Japanese. Your wallet will thank you. At number 1, we have Miss Maggie. It's drawn by Aoki, and I adore this card for the colors that it shows. The pinks, the purples, the whites, contrasted by the brown in like a little frame. It's so quaint and so elegant. I love it. I'm not even a big fan of Miss Maggie's, but this card, I love it so much. That's why it's my number 1 spot. It's amazing. It's just so colorful. It's so nice to look at. It's art. There's no other way to put it. It reminds me of like some stained glass art that you may see in an old church or something. I just really like it. It's so elegant and understated. So nice with the colors, and it flows so nice. And the value of this card for what it is, it's so good. It's around £7. It's amazing. Pick it up. A quick honorable mention goes to this Flamigo drawn by Shibuzo. It's amazing. I love the colors, and it's also incredibly cheap at £4. It was just beat out by the other 5 cards. Powder Evolved is a very strong set. But with that being said, let's move into Obsidian Flames. The first entry for Obsidian Flames at number 5 is the Pidgey, drawn by Jerky, and I love this card. I love the colors, I love the art style, and I love how annoying the Pidgeys look. They just look like they want to mug you, punch you in the face, and run away cackling. I love it so much. Of course, Pidgey is the first, the iconic, the original Route 1 bird, and it's shown so perfectly. You got the Pidgeys hiding in the grass like it would be in the games with the little stand thing that tells you what route you're on. It's absolutely perfect. The art style is amazing, of course, and the art style is apparent throughout the entire evolution line. I absolutely love it. The Pidgeot is my favorite of the 3, but of course it is a special illustration rare, so I cannot include it into this. But the value of this card is around £6 to £7. Pick it up. It's a beautiful card. Get the entire evolution lines. Obsidian Flame, of course, isn't that expensive as a set, so pick them up. These are some beautiful arts. At the number 4 spot, we have this adorable Lechonk drawn by Naruto Sato, and I love this card because I can relate to it. It's a rotund beast that slumbers after having a meal. I think we can all relate to that deep down. I know I can, but it's an adorable card. I love the colors, I love the lighting, I love how everything just slightly contrasts. It's perfect. The food on the Lechonk's mouth as it dozes away. It's perfect. Absolutely perfect. And like with a lot of the cards in Obsidian Flames, it's very cheap. It goes for around £4. If you don't have this card already, pick it up. It's not going to hurt your wallet much at all. At number 3, we have Ninetales, and I love this card. It's drawn by Sia Nanahara, and it is gorgeous. I think that's the right word to describe it. It is gorgeous, and I know a lot of you guys may be surprised that I have it at number 3, because I feel like this is a card that is most people's number 1 in Obsidian Flames. But for me, it's just gorgeous. There's not too much contrast, but it is a beautiful card. I love how elegant it looks. The Ninetales looks so elegant. I love it. The price is around £12, which is a little bit on the pricey side, but it is a gorgeous card, like I keep saying, and it should be in everyone's collection. Also, in a PSA 10, it's worth about £120, I believe. It's definitely worth picking up regardless, so grab one. In the number 2 spot, we have Gloom, and I absolutely love this card. It is so vibrant. I love how the colors all just jump out at you. I love the jungle setting. It's so perfect. I love all the purples, the blues, the greens. All of the colors that are used are so perfect. It's so vibrant. It's so vivid. It's a perfect card. I love seeing Pokemon in their natural habitat, in their environment. It's so perfect. Also, the nice little addition of having those two adorable little Weedles there looking at each other like, what the hell's going on over here? It's just perfect. And this card is surprisingly cheap for how beautiful it is. It's around £7. Go pick one up. Do yourself a favor. Have such a vibrant, vivid card in your collection now before it goes crazy. And at the number 1 spot, my favorite card in Obsidian Flames has to be this Cleffa. I bloody love this illustration rare. It's so perfect. It's just a tiny little baby Cleffa on what doesn't even look like an earthen landscape. It looks out of this world, seeming to bring down a star, a wishing star. It looks so cosmic, so divine. I can't even put it into words. You guys just have to admire this art with me. I love the contrast between the epicness and the grandiose background compared to just the tiny little splodge that is Cleffa. It's so perfect. I hope you guys share the same sentiment as me when it comes to this card. Like, it is such a beauty. It's so funny to look at, but it's also so striking at the same time. The colors are beautiful. It's just perfect. Absolutely perfect. And this card, sure, it's a little bit pricey than the other illustration rares we featured, but at £12, I think it's a must-have. It's a must-have. It's so adorable and so striking at the same time. It's amazing. Go pick yourself up one. That's Obsidian Flames done with. Let's move on to Scarlet and Violet 151. And we start off with 151 at number 5 with Machoke, and I love this. Again, it's a Pokemon in its environment. In this case, it's a Machoke helping out a family move into a new house. It's absolutely perfect. We've seen Machoke helping out in games in places like mines, so it's so nice to see a Machoke helping its human counterparts, doing a job essentially. And I appreciate when we have moments like that encaptured so perfectly. Not to mention, there's a nice few extra details like the Meowth on the roof and the Pidgeys. It's so nice seeing everything in their environment. This card does sit at around £10 to £15, so about £12 to £13 on average that you can pick it up for. I think it's an adorable card. I love seeing Pokemon in their environment. I think you guys should definitely pick this one up. Anyway, go grab it. At number 4, we have Poliwhirl, and this card is adorable. I mean, look at it. The colors are amazing. The streets also remind me of Kamurocho, as if I'm playing the Yakuza games. I love it a lot. I also love how you can see the amazement or the bewilderment on the Poliwhirl's face as it's looking at its own reflection. I love how the water is drawn. I love the reflections on the water. I love the ripples on the water too. There is nothing to dislike on this card at all. Poliwhirl, great Pokemon, and it's drawn so beautifully. Shout out to Gemi, the artist. Wonderful card. And it sits at around £15, it looks like. I think it's definitely a pickup. So go grab one. At number 3, we have Omanyte, and I adore the pastel colors, the browns, the greens, and all the little details. I love that it's underwater, and I love that you can see the Omastar in the background, the Kabuto as well. It's a perfect card. I love it. I think it's so understated as well. No one thinks of Omanyte when they think of 151, but I love this illustration, right? And the price of it is not so bad either. It sits at around £10, but you can get it for a little bit cheaper. I think it's definitely worth picking up, so go grab one. In the number 2 spot, we have Pikachu, and this card is amazing. The Pikachu itself is adorable, but there are different Pokemon scattered all around the picture. I love this. You can see a Gengar, you can see a Blastoise, some Nidorans running around, a reoccurring theme of Pidgeys just hanging about. It's amazing. There's so much detail in this card. Of course, it's all Gen 1 Pokemon as well. They're all recognizable. They all look amazing. It's just, there's so much detail in this card. It is perfect. It's amazing. I love it. And the card goes for around £25. It's one of the more expensive ones, but there is a lot more going on. It features a lot of amazing Pokemon. Grab one if you want to, but it's pricey, so bear that in mind. At the number 1 spot, we have Dragonair, and I think this card perfectly conveys serenity. I love how elegant it seems. It seems so quaint in this area. Dragonair itself looks so regal, just swimming through the water. You see the golden gates. It almost has a stink of divinity to it, almost as if he's at the pearly gates. It's amazing. I love this card. I love the architecture. I love the water. Everything looks so amazing. It's such an underrated card. It's beautiful. That's why it hits my number 1 spot. And the value for this card is around £25. I think it's worth it at that point. It is, of course, 151 as well, so it's going to be up there in price, but it's definitely worth it. Definitely worth it. Go pick yourself up one. This Psyduck has to be an honorable mention. I absolutely adore this card. There's not much going on, but I think it perfectly explains what's going inside of Psyduck's head. That there's nothing going on. You can already tell by the expression on his face. It doesn't know, or it doesn't remember if it's going up or down these steps, and it's halfway through either way, so it's just lost the plot. I also love its attack move, Overthink, which is of course just perfect for the Psyduck. It's just beautiful. I love it. I can relate to it. We're part of early onset dementia gang. Love this card. And the value of this card is only around £14-15, it looks like. Definitely pick this up. Just pick it up. And with 151 done, now we're going to move on to the final set in this video, which is of course Paradox Rift. Let's check it out. The first card for Paradox Rift at number 5 is Magby. It's another Pokemon in its environment. It looks absolutely adorable. It's drawn amazing by Mina Nakai. And I love this card because it's so relatable. How we would feel going into a nice hot steamy bath in a cold winter day is exactly how this Magby is feeling, just jumping into a lava pool. I love it. It's adorable. And the value of this card is only around £7-8. Definitely worth being in your collection. Pick it up. At number 4, we have this beautiful Iron Jugulis, of course featuring a Pokemon that is a future Paradox version of Hydreigon. So some people may already be put off of that, but regardless, this card is a beauty. I love the colors. I love the sky in the background. The colors on the building, I don't even know what it's supposed to be, but it reminds me of like a futuristic diner or something. I absolutely love this card. It's beautiful. I love the colors. It's almost retro wave without going so far down that route, and I just love this card. It's a beauty, and it's so cheap as well. It looks like it's around £5. It's a beauty. You know what to do already. Pick one up. At number 3, we have another Tomokazu Kamiya artwork. Look how crazy this is. This Brute Bonnet looks absolutely amazing. I love how creepy it looks. I love the vivid colors. It's so striking. It's so sharp. I love it. It's amazing. The funny thing about this card, I think the sentiment that I find so endearing about this art is that Tomokazu Kamiya had to eat something that looked very similar to Brute Bonnet himself before he came up with this image. I think it's amazing. It's also very cheap. It's only around £5. I'm sure you can find it for cheaper than that as well. And for an art like this, it's a must pick up. At number 2, we have Yveltal, drawn by Masako Tomi, and I love everything about this card. Yveltal itself looks striking. I love the colors, the cyclical design of the colors. I don't even know how to describe this. It is amazing. I love all the colors, the flowers in the corners too. It's so striking, so majestic. I love it. And it's not too bad in terms of price. It's a bit up there relative to everything else we've shown so far at around £12, but I think it's definitely worth it because this looks like a work of art. Definitely pick this up. And the last card in this video, at the number 1 spot for Paradox Rift, is Steelix. I absolutely love this card. It's another Pokemon in its environment, but there's extra details to this that I just adore. First things first, I'm biased because I love Steelix, and I don't think Steelix has any bad cards at all. And this proves my point. Look how awesome this card is. You see how triumphant Steelix looks. One of the biggest Pokemon out there. Just doing what it does best. Loving what it's doing. Helping out its human counterparts. I think it's amazing. I love seeing this. It looks so proud of itself, and I'm a proud owner of this card. And if you want to be a proud owner of this card, well, the price of it is a bit up there. It's around £20, which is high, but I think people are starting to appreciate how good some of these illustration rares are. So I think if you want it, you should pick it up before it goes crazy. And that concludes the first video on this multiple part series, and where I talk about the best illustration rares from every single set. If you guys stuck around for this long listening to me yap on, I want to say sorry, but also thank you very much for sticking around. I would love if you could smash the like button, give me a comment down below. I would love to know what your favorite illustration rares are. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed already, and just let me know if you want to hear more stuff like this in general. I'm not really one to be sat down talking and yapping because I don't feel like people would want to listen to me, but if you guys do want to hear me out, then just let me know. But either way, thank you very much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye.